Hello and welcome back to Rogue Trader. We're hanging out in this star system with a funky name. And there's a Necron ring. Let's go examine the Necron ring. The greenish glow of the gigantic ring made from unknown materials flows through the windows of the captain's bridge. The void ship's instruments measure a whole spectrum of various emissions. Sometimes the dull green is darkened by clouds of space dust or bent by gravitational waves. The object most closely resembles a portal, albeit what's passing through it cannot be clearly defined. Now observe the anomaly. Arcs of incandescent star gases bursting from the ring pierce the darkness of space, reflected by the surface of other celestial bodies in the system. At times, the dark light waves bend the edges of the portal, but they are quickly restored thanks to the enigmatic flowing metal. Then lashes of purple clouds, dissected by threads of lightning, appear in the center of the ring. An unseen force prevents them from reaching the other side of the portal, as the blocks of blackstone become covered in purple scarlet illumination. If the ring truly were a portal, it is not fit to serve as one any longer. Stellar heat and gravitational force forbid any vessel from passing through it. According to the ship's astropaths, the purple clouds are an even more dangerous phenomenon, indicating that the powers of the warp are eager to flow out of the portal into real space. As if to highlight its deadliness, with the next wave of dark light, the portal throws out the shattered remains of an unidentified void ship. I'm going to send a team to examine the object. Is that the void ship that came out? Oh. Additional equipment and a closer position allow the team to understand part of what's happening. The portal seems to resemble the gate devices used by the Eldari and Drukhari, only made of a different material. The metallic shine of the ring alternates with the darkness of the large blocks of stone, reminiscent of the material that makes up the famous Cadian pylons. Indeed, the pylons that turned out to be Necron stuff, indeed. Analysis of the wave signatures indicate that this construct once used parts of the webway, the Eldari system of pathways. However, in its current condition, the portal is not fit for transporting vessels. It is unstable and often begins unleashing dangerous cosmic objects. Instead of transports, the gate spews forth dark light waves and deadly breaths of incandescent gas, the latter taken from a star's photosphere. It's hard to believe that a civilization capable of creating a device as powerful as this one could have undergone such a decline. I barely read that at all coherently. Reading is hard sometimes. Well, let's make our way over here. I'm gonna make it yellow. Chart some new routes while we're here. Okay. I want to visit the system before I move on. Ah. Probably Necron ships. Oh? An abandoned camp. Under thin clouds, as if shredded by a careless blade, sway vast steps carpeted by pale gold deadwood. The rogue trader's attentive eye distinguishes a region among the endless grasses that does not fit into the general landscape. The scouts from the shuttle see signs of intelligent life. Judging by the trampled soil and tent frames, someone made camp here. Distant silhouettes form a tangle of paths and obstacles, a maze. The outer walls are supplemented by a multitude of spikes and blades, and decorated with scraps of leather and withered crucified prisoners. It does not take an expert in xenoculture to reason that Drukhari have been here. I'm gonna send scouts to search the camp. As they comb over the tracks left by the Drukhari structures, the scouts find items of Imperium make, blood-soaked clothes and a Kila patch, and a data slate cracked in half. Gothic letters and the symbol of the Inquisition are frozen on its bottom half. The sentence fragments make up part of an exploration report. The servants of von Valancius find a rough illustration of the camp in the pocket of a filthy coat. On it are marked two locations. The first is shown with a sword and highlights the area where the items were found. The other is a skull and points to a patch of ground by the maze. Now find out what's in the place marked by the skull. Scouts carefully inspect every piece of land in the marked area and discover a camouflage pit studded with strong thin needles. In a niche sunk into the wall of the trap glitters a volumetric flask with an ugly creature that looks like several brains stuck together. And I analyze the creature. Rogue Trader's people recognize the grotesque figure as a Drukhari Medusa, parasite capable of registering emotions and transferring them to its master. This thing was left here as the equivalent of a pit recorder, collecting the suffering of the Drukhari victims. Destroy the abomination, please. Flask explodes into shrapnel fragments under a salvo from the scouts' rifles. The remaining liquid is collected into several test tubes to be examined in the ship's laboratory and put to good use. Or destroyed on the orders of the Rogue Trader. Got some pain blockers. Continue exploring the area. Deep prints belonging to landing legs and a ladder are visible in the grass behind the maze. The relative positions of the recesses correspond to the design of an Imperial shuttle. When the Von Valence's scouts report, they find a wax seal bearing the symbol of the Inquisition and a monogram formed from the letters XC. An officer voices the proposition that the initials correspond to the name of Lord Inquisitor Xavier Calcasar. Of course it does. Search the grass. A segment of the dry grass a few meters in front of the prints from the ladder has been cut as if scythed. Among the chopped stems lies a piece of Drukhari trophy, a flap of dark skin stretched out by thin chains. Most of it is covered by a tattoo, a silhouette of a storm or tornado, and a black symbol composed of curved lines and sharp shapes. Huh. Burn away all trace of Xenos presence. The predatory structures do not burn easily, and it takes a long time for them to heat up. When the flames finally gather strength, turquoise explosions flash amid the yellow-orange waves. Whatever was down here was dangerous. Yep. Fuck off. Drukhari. Lord Captain, there was an incident on the flight deck. The planet we discovered is located at the coordinates of interest to the Honorable Ulfar, Angel of the Emperor. The moment he learned about this, he chose to abandon ship. Oh fuck. He ordered a shuttle to be provided to him and directed it to the world before us. We do not know exactly where he wishes to go, but the augurs have tracked the shuttle to his landing site. He stole a shuttle? How did this happen? Lord Ulfar simply showed up on deck, drove the enforcers away, and demanded he be granted clearance for takeoff. Your servants became frightened and dare not disobey orders. Why have I not been notified of his actions right away? He forbade it, and the enforcers did not dare to defy an angel of the Emperor. I am very sorry. I see. I apologize for having to bring you this troubling news, Lord Captain. So, Ulfar fucking went down here. We got a scouting party led by the Rogue Trader herself makes planetfall on the frozen world. The shuttle on which Ulfar Thunderlung departed the ship has been designated the starting point for the search. Said shuttle is found at the landing site intact and undamaged. I'm gonna scout the area. Oh, we're not going down with like a party? Okay. The scouts discover numerous structures, burial grounds and obelisks of the Xeno race that once ruled these star systems, all of which are now encased in ice and solemnly sepulchral stillness. No signs of activity by potentially hostile Xenos have been detected. What did I even choose? Examine the stolen shuttle. The machine spirit is in fine form and is ready to ascend from the world's surface. No clues have been found as to Ulfar Thunderlung's intended destination, but a keen-eyed scout sights several disturbed snowdrifts that may indicate the route taken by the Space Wolf. Follow the trail. The group bravely ventures onward into the realm of blinding white and crackling frost. The sky is soon blanketed with snow clouds that block out the stars' lights. The wind, howling like a pack of hungry spirits, sweeps away all tracks and whips up a furious storm. Awareness succeeded. The path is full of dangers. A treacherous crevasse, hidden under the snow's crust, suddenly opens wide underneath the enforcer's feet. It is only the vigilance of the Lord Captain and her companions We hear the telltale crack in time that saves the soldiers from certain death. A few hours later, the expedition comes to a plateau. Rising up ahead is the dark hull of an imperial trading vessel that once landed on the world's surface. Look for signs of Ulfar? Fresh tracks in the snow leading to the ship's airlock indicate that he was here and recently. However, he was not alone. The scouts find strange dips in the snowdrift surrounding the ship. It seems that someone was watching the ship, from a position buried in the snow around the same time that Ulfar Thunderlong was searching it. The escalating storm sweeps over the group as if trying to bury them in darkness, snow, and obliterating winds. Investigate the ship. The ship is identified as the Revelation Granted, the merchant cog commandeered by the baleful Howl on footfall. No signs of struggle or other misfortune are found aboard, only some useful cargo in the hold. Contrary to expectations, no crew members are found, dead or alive. The ship has been abandoned and its fuel systems are non-functional. The Prometheum has frozen solid and ruptured the tanks and pipes. Send scouts to survey the area? The enforcers search the area and return without finding anything of interest. Not all of them return, in fact. Several seem to have lost their way and failed to make it back to the ship. That's unfortunate. Contact the ship in orbit. The raging storm makes it impossible to establish a Vox link with the rogue trader's vessel, leaving the expedition stranded without aid, but probably not for long. The officers on the bridge should have immediately dispatched help as soon as contact with the scouting party was lost. Decide which direction the search will go next. In the raging blizzard, it is impossible to determine which way the space wolf might have gone. A pair of brave trackers strike out on a long-distance scouting run and still have not returned hours later. Take shelter in the ship and set up camp. The bone-weary soldiers welcome the chance to rest. Watchful sentries stand guard, while their more fortunate comrades stuff themselves with the now frozen rations of the ship's vanished crew. Carouse test failed. Unfortunate. The temperature inexorably plummets. Many members of the expedition suffer from frostbite, while others lose their fortitude and morale. One of the sentries delivers an anxious report to the Lord Captain. He has seen a massive shadow in the darkness, and it was definitely not Ulfar Thunderlong. Light a brighter fire, actually. Barrels of frozen promethium are dragged outside. The frozen fuel reluctantly succumbs to the heat of the thermal cutters, and fires kindle around the ship. Even this is not enough to dispel the snowy darkness, but the people are buoyed up by the additional light and warmth. A messenger rushes to the Lord Captain to report that one of the sentries is missing. Large tracks have been found near the sentries, as well as a few trolls. Is he going Wolfen? Hopefully not. Double the sentries. Despite the reinforcements, the sentries cannot conceal their fear. The unknown has robbed them of their courage. Terrible rumbling cuts through the roar of the storm, the clash and clamor of battle. It is followed by furious, agonized screams. Send the party towards the sounds of battle as soon as possible. Tied together with ropes and bolstering each other with battle cries, the enforcers rush toward the battle in human chains. Unable to see anything ahead in the darkness and swirling snow, they blindly strive toward the source of the battle's monstrous thunder. Why is this a 0? Send the soldiers forward, trusting in their tactical skill and lessons taught to them by the Lord Captain. The enemy is concealed by the snow and the darkness, forcing the soldiers to fire in all directions, by some miracle not hitting each other. First one fighter, then another, vanishes with a desperate shriek, dragged off by the unknown enemy into the roiling depths of the storm. But the enforcers' courage and stubbornness win out. Boldly pushing forward, they drive the mysterious enemy from the battlefield and into a retreat. Ulfar is found lying in the blood-soaked snow, his body covered in grievous wounds, but the wolf continues to cling to life. With great care, he is borne to the shuttles and, wasting no time, brought back to the ship for urgent treatment. That was a curious way to handle that. What is this? What do you mean the Lord... I've left. I can't come back, I'm sorry. Did I actually... Oh, I can still get these things. Apparently. I thought I wouldn't be able to. Oh well. I want to go speak with Ulfar, see what happened. Or at least what he believes happened. Where the fuck is Ulfar? Did I not get a quest saying to speak to Ulfar? To the Voxmaster, okay. How is Ulfar? Has he regained consciousness?
He's feeling better, Lord Captain. The ship's chirurgeon was amazed at his resilience. The same Lord Ulfar is currently convalescing in his chambers.
Have a servant escort me to Ulfar's quarters. Oh. Oh, hello. This is kinda rad. Ulfar's dark figure towers over you. His head is lowered, his hair hanging in a curtain across his face. His fair skin is cross-hatched with broad crimson scars, held together by metal staples and covered with black spiked runes for physical healing. Could an ordinary mortal have survived such injuries? Unlikely. With a twitch of his fingers, Ulfar bids the two servants in attendance to step away so as not to intrude on your conversation. They silently retreat.
Edfather, I must thank you for saving me. I had a difficult battle.
I'm glad you survived, Ulfar.
I always survive.
And we know now that's not entirely a happy statement for him. Why did you decide to go to that world alone? After a few moments' silence, Ulfar says quietly,
So I did not have to bury your body in the snow, Edfather. It is not out of arrogance that wolves do not allow mortals into our affairs, but because the burden of those deeds is heavy. They reek of death. Just consider what kind of threat you could have been facing, in a place where an entire pack of Astartes has disappeared. If I had risked you for the sake of fulfilling my vows, would that have been worthy of me?
We fight together. Do not forget that I am your Edfather. Ulfar heaves a sigh, which seems to hang in the air between you.
You and I are different. Your way is to rule and build, while mine is to destroy and chase down prey. Such is the Allfather's plan, and in that plan my death on the battlefield is an expected and joyous event, while your death would be premature, sorrowful, and damaging to many other lives.
Did you find any trace of your brothers?
The vessel I found, the revelation granted, that was them. Inside there were signs that wolf scouts leave for their brothers. The baleful howl landed the ship on the surface and left, and the rest of the crew disappeared. I followed my brother's trail until an unknown foe blocked my path, and battle ensued.
What foe is capable of besting you in combat? Your wounds were truly terrifying.
An evil spirit. It attacked me from behind and wounded me instantly.
Ulfar points to a particularly gruesome scar in his chest, the strike clearly intended for one of the Space Wolf's two hearts. The wound gives off a strong medicinal smell, but it is one you recognize. Not one you recognize. Probably a Fenrisian bomb brewed by Ulfar himself. Your healers would faint after one whiff of such a potion.
The snow covered my eyes, and I could only make out a shadow, but it moved fast and strong. If the All-Father's gift had not knitted my ribs into a hard carapace, that blow would have been my last.
The wolf says these words with chilling nonchalance.
I can still feel its claws in my chest, frost-shedding flesh. Wounds left by spirits are dangerous. They create a spiritual link between your body and its pernicious mind. The only way to heal such mutilations is to brew a potion from the blood spilt by their incorporeal bodies.
Did it? I don't remember that, but let's say that, I guess. That evil spirit wounded me too.
Then we are both marked. Our bodies will be tormented by its deadly touch until it is defeated. But fear not, Edfather. We will defeat it. I swear.
Your pack seems to have led an entire ship's crew to their deaths.
The wolf shrugs sadly. Do not blame us for what we are. Death always clings to the warriors of the All-Father, and we are fated for no deeds other than those accomplished in the jaws of Mordecai.
I see. You are not your usual self. You seem more somber.
By bitter paths come wisdom, in wake of bloody losses, and shattered dreams, heavy thoughts swaying on its broad shoulders. It enters unbidden, and takes a seat by your heart.
Have you been thinking about your life?
About the future? Have you ever wondered what it means to be an Astartes? To know no other family but your brothers in battle? To know no other feast but the joy of slaying your enemies and extolling your fallen comrades? To know with certainty that your death will be terrible, brutal, and agonizing, for time holds no sway over us, and no warrior of the All-Father has ever breathed his last in a soft bed. Death holds no fear for us, Edfather. We have been eating at the same table since day one.
Perhaps something good awaits in your future.
Listen, Edfather. When the wolf priest tested me, I went to the gate of Mordecai, a dark place where real space and the thoughts of the grey wolves intertwine like the tentacles of a kraken. Everyone who appeared before the gate is granted a vision, and mine was a dark omen. I saw myself in two guises, one as white as the moon, and the other black as the lowering sky, and the two were locked in combat. As for which me emerged victorious, that was hidden from my sight. But that is not what frightened me. The black wolf's gaze was fearsome, full of more pain than he could ever inflict himself. It drove him mad and turning him into a monster. And as dark as he appears, I recognize myself in him. After all, I was made for destruction, torment, and annihilation. I am the more agile monster. Does that mean that by the All-Father's design, I must drink this cup of pain to the bottom in order to fulfill his plan? I do not know.
Ulfar looks at you, his expression inscrutable. Tell me, why are there no rhymes in your songs?
Rhymes are empty frippery. A saga must be alive. If the words happen to fall into a rhyme, well, that is grand. But to make your whole story fit neatly into such a pattern, you must either twist the truth in the service of beauty, or live your life for the sake of a rhyme. Neither is to a wolf's liking. Our sagas are voices sounding through eternity. When we hear them, we do not hear stories. We hear the tellers speaking their words to us now.
Do you still believe you will find your brothers?
I will find them.
He clenches his fists.
Probably not alive. but I will find them. Thank you for your answers. You have a right to them.
I'll look around the chamber and say, I'm pleased that my servants found a fitting shrine for your armor. The splendor and monumentality of the chamber befit the solemnity of the sacrament unfolding within. As if performing an intricate dance, the servants of the Omnissiah move in time with the murmuring mechanisms, circling the massive space wolf while he stands utterly still. The scent of sacred incense fills the air, giving it the sense that one is witnessing a great ritual.
An Astartes needs very little. A cell and a table where I can perform the purifying rite on my weapon. That is all I require. But to keep the armor bestowed upon me by the Allfather in some shabby cubicle would be sacrilege. This chamber will do well for the vesting ceremony. There is good plasteel beneath the rich decoration and gilding. Yes, I'm satisfied.
What are the servants doing?
It is time for me to don my skin again.
Ulfar shrugs wearily, his body giving off heat and animal scent. One of the servants opens a casket containing contact unguent. It will be used to anoint each of the black carapace's neutral parts, marring the wolf's skin. The sacred augmentation seamlessly fuses Ulfar's body with his armor and every fiber bundle of it.
I feel flayed without it. Recently I've been trying to remember what it is like to live without a skin. I can't. Too many years have passed.
What will you do now?
I must return. My foe awaits me, and it would be dishonorable to retreat from this battle. But I will need help in the fighting.
You can count on me.
I know, Edvater.
Ulfar nods to the servants, and in low voices they begin a guttural prayer. Shadows leap across the walls, twisting together in a majestic and savage dance. In the flickering candlelight, the sacred rite is performed. The angel of the Emperor is clothed in the armor of unwavering faith and his wrath. Oh boy. Oh hey, look at that. I can level up. Have I not? Okay. Didn't have myself selected. The process of putting on Space Marine armor is not that simple, but I believe there are cases in the books where they can at least adequately put on armor without aid, which I imagine also happens in this game when you're with Ulfar in the in Komora. Let's get ourselves some... Should we get some intelligence? Let's get some intelligence, why not? And persuasion is about as high as it goes. What's our coercion like? It's pretty good. Let's get it a little bit better. What do we give you? What do we give you? Oh man. Yeah, he has some options. How about we give you... Let's get your toughness up to 100. That seems like a good idea. And... Carouse? Man, why weren't you there for the Carouse check on the planet? That would have been very helpful. You? Huh. The two things you really want are not there. I don't know. Int for Medicaid. I suppose. Which you can't get any higher. You can get awareness a bit higher, I guess. Perception or agility? Let's do agility. And I don't know. Awareness? Agility and commerce. Guess agility for you as well. Dodge is never bad. Yeah. Oh man. Imperium lore, I guess. Let's settle for that. Okay. Then I guess we go back to that same planet and we actually touch down this time. Yes. Can I just check something real quick? I want to make sure that... Oh, we can upgrade the ship. Kinda missed that. That could be fun. Oh man, we're just getting all of these, I guess. Posts. Yeah, that's what I figured. Get Ulfar back in there. Now. Yes. Some Necron shit here. That's not great. Well, we're now on the snow world, and when we get back, we'll explore. See you later.